I want to do a new one. I want to do an old one after this. This is the first third of a new one. Its working title is Biodoom. It's going to be three people's perspectives in a society trying to develop a utopia, but a shadow government takes over. So it's just going to be about how citizens deal with the grave consequences of affecting a utopia. Lofty land of Oz televangelists, an IQ less than their shoe size, camera-angled emerald philanthropists, jaded filtered descent under a sky grandpa's eyes, abandoned society to manufacture private oasis, discriminates entry on whether applicants' beauty can paralyze, Photoshop doctrine comment list avarice, cats will still whisper, malice gossip is a blood crime, cutting-edge World War II plasma tubes usher in an age of modified embryos. Dilated extremes in nature claiming nothing to prove, cornerstoning a table of DNA resequencing chemicals. Synthesized methamphetamines injected into generic Cheerios. An entire generation was observed and never cut loose. All defective samples were quietly removed. Fine-tooth comb bias against homosexuals. Artificially calm sunrises can never profit a single songbird. When you isolate off open skies and bully dirt away from worms. Kindergartens nurture compromise. Teachers always counting the same letters and words, but experience isn't materialized, and they starve off young mysteries as unable to answer. Then one little Bobby had a moment to escape. Through contraband zoology foxhole, he gasped. For heaven's sake, learning that the outside wasn't what he was told. Pure sunshine was worth his 10 commandments to break. Mason jar cages became an underground railroad. The addict hid his way, his little Anne Frank's. Public execution at 9 years old. See, all the approved pets were hypoallergenic, trained and put through the rigors for entry. No one needed the outdated vaccines from the clinic. Then a wave of bioterrorism washed over from the last century. The soul of Bobby became an epidemic, unleashing rodents crawling with plague and disease. The only exit became gridlock traffic. Rigid remaining citizens organized a witch hunt committee. Silence the masses with blame. Appease the dead through tribute. Burn the accused with flame. Throw the stones. Harlequin contributes. Trial and verdict will always be the same. With no willing witnesses to rebuke, volunteer martyrs will walk the plank. If you stand to the side, you've already approved. Because it's lofty land of Oz televangelists, with an IQ less than their shoe size, camera-angled emerald philanthropists, bit jaded under a sky grandpa's eyes, abandoned society to manufacture private oasis, discriminates entry on whether your beauty can paralyze, Photoshop doctrine comment list avarice, cats will still whisper, malice gossip is a blood crime.
Yeah.
This next one's it's kind of new, kind of old. I guess last year, so it's kind of old. It's called wireless bungee jumping. You tell me it's not logical. That's the poetry in my words. You tell me it's impossible to swallow. My soul is filled with worms. Bodies pile up. Chalk a tally mark, then burned. Fresh soil overturned. Mud clinging to the fur. Seismic needles reading blur. Always playing cliffside chicken, achieving diminishing returns. Chipped inspiration is thrown onto the curb. And if you pick it back up, they'll claim that you're disturbed. Internal, eternal, infernal crescendo. Foreplay, the forte fortissimo, IMO, texting premeditated MOs just to let go of a secret indulgence. Maybe find a psychological accomplice or just give up and proxy the malice. Starving little wandering owlets, white rabbit catalyst sharpening up into talons. Piranha wingspan eclipsing canyons, comic book canon, sonic wave vocal cord projectile cannons penetrate armor plates. Daggers rain when I debate. Any civilian that attempts a 4-move checkmate misses metaphor matador charging down my crimson cape. Brushing past the point and still calling me a fake. That's smaller fish dredging polluted glasshouse lakes, gelatinous and powerless, with a fealty to cowardice, accepting all disappointing applicants as bloodshot, eyed-hungry savages, told to work in the cabbage patch until they cultivate productive adages from crop rotation baggage, besieging ego-expanded drawbridge, holding all their futures hostage for the sake of wellspring bleeding vengeance. And you tell me it's not logical. That's the poetry in my words. You tell me it's impossible to swallow. My soul is filled with worms, bodies pile up. Chalk a tally mark, then burn. Fresh soil overturned, mud clinging to the fur, seismic needles reading blur. Always playing cliffside chicken, achieving diminishing returns. Chipped inspiration is thrown onto the curb. And if you pick it back up, they'll claim that you're disturbed. Shakespearean apothecaries, scribbling on their bottles, doses may vary. Testing their own recipe, transmutes personality, fulfilling blood-pumping vacancies. Poverty's past misery, eagerly enticing company to take a few swigs. Dropping breadcrumb casualties, Trebek double jeopardy, never finishes medical residency, avarice and kaleidoscope calamities. Bathroom cabinet chemistry, toothpaste, minty clean AA batteries. Taking shots topped off with the top shelf antifreeze, akin to wild blackberries. And you know what I mean, that taste in your mouth, length of a bone ash comes out. Grapes of wrath, palate, dust bowl drought. House full of empty plates, shoveling in second helps of doubt. Shoulder angels googling new routes, trying to whisper life's logic, betrayed by if God actually exists gossip. Twisted Pavlovian subconscious, noxious carcass promise. Straight shot, flatline aspects, head to toe black garments. Don't show your diary to an alarmist. You'll be sent to the psychiatric departments where they treat you for being numb with synthetic serotonin chewing gum because the devil's got your eardrum. The details in your earbud, the penalty for previous poisons pollinates into happy bubble suds. And then you'll sign the dotted line in blood. Subsidize, stabilize, ego, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, a happy little alien or three amigos seeking divine intervention by Craigslist and undisturbed army ant colonies. Sub-search, instant noodle pharmacologies. They show up, receive a 50 caliber lifetime supply of philosophy, casket open door policy. If you want to bring me your problems in life, I will look at the Richter scale, but they better be sorted chronologically because you tell me it's not logical. And that's the poetry in my words. You tell me it's impossible to swallow. My soul is filled with worms, bodies pile up. Chalk a tally mark, then burn. Fresh soil overturned, mud clinging to the fur, seismic needles reading blur. Always playing cliffside chicken, achieving diminishing returns. Chipped inspiration is thrown onto the curb. And if you pick it back up, they'll claim that you're disturbed. This is when you mount a bridge where wireless bungee jumping can occur.
Woo! Yeah!